I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was called with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your man, Uncle Freeze, #1 Chief Rocker in Knicks universe. And welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. Blue tears, orange tears, Blorange tears. Bim, bim, bim. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Right? Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you like some loot, and if you got some loot and a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, oh yeah. Let's get it. 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 Let me see here. Let me see. I got something that I want to play just real quick. If I can find it. If I can find it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Where is it? I can't find it, but oh, okay, whatever. We'll just get into this tip off. Let's see if I can find the tip off. Tip off. Starts with the T. Is that T capitalized? Let's go. Yo, today, I want to talk to y'all about our perception of the young core. Right? I want to talk to y'all about the perception of our young core. I'm just working on a few things right quick behind the scenes, just real quick. I want to talk to y'all about the perception of the young core, right? Right. Let me see here. Let me do something real quick. So young core, the Knicks young core. That's what I want to talk to y'all about. Yo, pardon me as I work through a few different things, right? Young core. Let me see. Guards. Wings, bigs, right? So our young guards are Emmanuel, Quickly, Miles, McBride. Our young wings are R.J. Barrett, Quentin Grimes, Cam Reddish. Our young bigs are Mitchell Robinson, Obadiah Toppin, Jericho Sims, Farron Hunt is a young wing, and Rokas Jokic Vitus is another young guard, right? Bear with me as I put this on. I want to put this on the screen because I want you guys to look at what it is that I see when I think about the future. I believe the children are the future. All right. So I'm going to share this with y'all because I want y'all to see what it is that I'm looking at. Right? I'm going to share this. Share the screen. I want y'all to look at exactly what I'm looking at. So you can see this, right? You see this. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Let me make it bigger. Let me bold it up, right? And let me push this thing up. Let me push this thing up so y'all see what I'm talking about. Let me center this thing. Let me center this thing. Yeah. Let me center this thing so y'all see what it is I'm talking about. All right. Let me make this thing bigger so y'all can see. Bim. Okay. Bim, Excel Freezy is back, baby. All right. So look, let's start this conversation right now about the young core. Right now, what you see on the screen is 10 names. 10 names of guys that are 24 and under. Right? What you don't see here is the 2022 first round pick. And what you don't see is the 2022 second round pick. Right? So we've been having this discussion for months. People want to tell me, yo, build around the kids, Uncle Freezy, build around the kids. Okay, so let's build around the kids then. Corey Lee, what's good? What's good? Right? All right. Right? So y'all telling me build around the kids. Uncle Freezy, stop being a hater. Stop hating on the kids. I'm not hating on the kids, man. I'm not hating on the kids. But what I want y'all to look at is names 24 and under, right? 24 and under. Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, Archie is 28, bro. Archie is 28. So look at this. Look at this, right? Look at all these names, man. How can one? Okay. Let me make sure everybody fits. Okay. Look at all these names, man. No, Luka is gone, bro. Luka's gone. Luka's been cut. So what I want y'all to do is look at what we have. Of course, Mitchell Robinson is a free agent, right? Mitchell Robinson is a free agent. I'm adding him because he's not out the door yet. Now he may go. He may go. He may go. Yo, Big, I know what you're saying. You saying Grimes is not a wing, right? Right, except he is not a guard. Grimes doesn't initiate anything, doesn't help in the ball handling, none of that. Grimes don't help initiate offense or do things in the backcourt and all, none of that. He don't have guard responsibilities. I feel you. I wanted to put him on the guard list, and I thought about that. I actually thought about it. Man. I didn't just put him over there to just have him over there. I'm not trying to disparage that dude. What I'm saying is Grimes, man, is a wing player for us, even at his height and size. Right? I know. I know. I feel you. I feel you. Either way, it don't matter. Even if I put Mitchell Robinson under guards, even if I put Obi under wings, y'all still understand though that there are 10 names on this list of Knicks that are 24 years and younger. Right? I get what you're saying. I'm saying the most important thing though is right now, the most important thing is this. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing right now. I get what y'all saying. I do. I feel what y'all saying. But this is the most important thing, right? This right here is the most important thing. Where is that color? I can't find the color for some reason. Where's my color at? Why can't I find my color? Now I'm frustrated that I can't find my color. Let's just go with that. How about that? Let's just go with that. Let's just go with that for the time being. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to take away from the conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the things I didn't want to do is have like the minor details that are important in the grand scheme of things, but not important to what we're talking about right now. Right? Like for instance, I was told that Farron Hunt may not be around. Right? Farron Hunt might not make the team. Farron Hunt this, Farron Hunt that. Right now he's on the roster. Right? Right now he's on the roster. I was told Farron Hunt might be expendable and blah, 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 but right now he's on the roster. So let's just go with the stuff. Let's just go with it. We good. We super good. We good. Right? So what I'm getting at is right now we have 10 guys that are 24 years and younger on the roster. And after the draft, if things go to the way we think they're going to go, if no unexpected thing happens, then we're going to have 12 guys. 12 NBA players. We are going to have 12 NBA players 24 years old or younger. Right? We'll have 12 NBA players 24 years old or younger. Right? And so excuse me. And so what happens is this. What's going to happen is if we don't consolidate this talent, then somebody is not going to touch the NBA floor. Is it going to be Miles McBride? Is it Rokas Jokibitis? Right? Is it going to be Farron Hunt? Is it going to be Jericho Sims? So if you are going to consolidate, or if these young guys are not going to play, then why keep them on a roster? Right? So if Miles McBride, Rokas Jokibitis, Farron Hunt, Jericho Sims are not going to play, are these wasted assets? Are these wasted assets? Now if they are, why let them waste? Why not move them and get something for them? Right? If Miles McBride is a second round pick that's not going to get minutes, if Rokas Jokibitis is a wasted second round pick that's not going to get any minutes, if Farron Hunt is a wasted transaction, if Jericho Sims is a wasted second round pick that's not going to get any minutes because you have Mitchell Robinson, then why not consolidate them and get someone that's going to contribute? Right? Why not trade them? Why not consolidate them? Why not offer them up in a deal that gets you, say, a first round pick later on down the road? Forbes' Phil is in the building. What's good? And so here's the thing. Trading players is not easy in a league that has limited roster spots. Right? I was even told that we should go get Jalen Brunson. Right? So if we go get Jalen Brunson and add him to this mix, right? Now you add Jalen Brunson to a mix that has Quickly, McBride, Jokibitis, Grimes, Reddish, Barrett. Who is the odd man out? Who is the odd man out? Because if you add Brunson to a logjam at guard, is Quentin Grimes the odd man out? Now what do you do with Quentin Grimes? Right? And yo, and I'm glad somebody brought it up. Somebody brought it up. Let me point to it. Keyshawn says Rokas not coming. Right. You know why Rokas is not coming? Because there's a log jam. And now he is a wasted asset. That's the point that I'm getting at. If Rokas doesn't come, he is a wasted asset. Right? And I understand, and I understand this sounds like a case of musical chairs. It's not. It's as simple as this. It's as simple as this, right? If you go after Brunson and somehow get him, Quickly is no longer your point guard of the future. Now Quickly plays the 2. Right now Brunson rolls, and now you have Brunson and Derrick Rose. Right? That means Quickly plays the 2 behind Evan Fournier and Alec Burks. And possibly Quentin Grimes and Emmanuel Quickly are fighting for the 3rd shooting guard spot. Right? Right? Now what do you do with Quickly? Right? Now what do you do with either Quickly or Grimes? Either Quickly or Grimes suffers from you getting Jalen Brunson. Right? So there are a lot of scenarios here. There are a lot of scenarios here, and y'all have heard me say this often, that listen, a young core is no more than 4. A young core is no more than 4. Right? A young core is no more than 4 guys. Right? Because if you have a young 4, you need at least 1 veteran on the floor with them. The Fab 5 thing is a myth. Right? You can't win with the Fab 5. You can't. You saw it with your own eyes. The Fab 5 never won an NCAA championship. They lost to Duke and North Carolina in back-to-back seasons. Right? So the thing is with the young core, I understand that you want to develop everybody. You want to invest all of your development resources into all of these young guys. You want to invest all of your development resources into all of these young guys, right? It makes sense. You have them here. Why not make them better? It makes sense. You have them here. Why not make them better? Right? It just makes sense. Instead of a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, right? It's that argument. Instead of reaching out for somebody else's stuff and seeing if they could come here and be better, you just take the stuff that you already have and make it better. Right? What I'm asking y'all right now is to name the 4 that we need to keep. Out of the group that you see on the screen, right? Out of this group that you see on the screen here that I'm circling around and around and around and around on, name the 4 that we need to keep, and then we explore what to do with the others. Right? And I'm including everybody. Right? I'm including the 1st round and 2nd round picks also. Let's go with what G. Robinson said, right? where's you with G? Because I saw G Robinson's first. I saw G Robinson's first, right? So G Robinson says RJ, right? I'm gonna highlight these in green for go. Green means go. RJ. Okay. How come Excel's not working? RJ, Cam. There it is. I don't know why it wasn't working, y'all. That was weird. RJ, Cam, Grimes, and Obi. So if we keep these four, right? If we keep these four, Mitch has to go. Quickly has to go. Miles McBride has to go. Jokovitis has to go. Jericho Sims has to go. Farron Hunt has to go. And these draft picks have to go. They have to go. Right? Because you can't have a school bus full of young kids and spread the development so thin that it doesn't do justice to everyone. Because an organization has limited resources. Their resources are finite, right? These resources are finite, right? So based on what G Robinson said, we keep RJ, we keep Grimes, we keep Cam, we keep Obi, right? So if we do that, does that mean we go out and sign a point guard in free agency? So JJ says, none of these kids look like franchise changers. Wow. Wow. Just solid players. Right. Oh, okay. I'm glad you said that because I was thinking for a second, like, wow, really? Is this? I'm glad you clarified. I'm glad you clarified. And E. Gibson says, I agree. At best, they are solid rotational players. Right? And Kevin Middleton agrees. Kevin Middleton agrees. Right? So here's the thing. Here's the thing that I want us to consider as the NBA draft lottery approaches us quicker than we anticipate. The NBA draft lottery is May 17th. Guess what? Today is May 6th. So we're talking about in 11 days, we will know our fate will be sealed. Julian Blum. What's good? Julian Blum says, y'all disrespectful. Those kids were the only shining light. Yeah. Floyd Trey says, we should trade Randall and Kemba as well as draft compensation for Gobert. Right? And here's the thing that Leon Rose said in a letter to season ticket holders, and it should have been a letter to the fans. Leon Rose, stop being so dumb with these things that you do. Season ticket holders are not the only ones that support the Knicks. Leon Rose. Paris Duggar, thank you for your generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, the NBA just changed. Keep all but Mitch and Rokas. Chop Low is in the building. What's good, Chop? Yo, I'm here to tell you that if you think that Tom Thibodeau is going to play all 10 of these young guys plus 2 rookies, if you think Tom Thibodeau is going to play 15 guys a night, then y'all are mistaken. Then y'all are mistaken. I may be mistaken, right? I may be mistaken, right? But I believe that there's going to be some consolidation. And Gibson says the youth development was the positive of last season, and nobody disputes that. Nobody disputes that. We're not saying that these kids are bad kids or bad players. We're not saying that they're in bad situations. What we're saying is a development staff has finite resources. You can't play 12 kids 24 years and younger. It's impossible. That's what we're saying. Julian Blum says, here's a news flash. The youngins are staying because that was the front office plan the whole time. Tibbs admitted only after the season because he couldn't fess up to the front office or media, so he lied. And that may be true. That may be true, right? That may be true, right? That may be true. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Tibbs is only going to play 10 guys unless injuries or something like that happen. And if you think that Tibbs is going to play all these guys, plus Alec Burks, plus Nerlens Noel, plus Taj Gibson, plus Evan Fournier, we have to have a different conversation. We have to have a different conversation if we think Tibbs is going to play these guys, and Fournier, and Burks, and Rose, and Noel, and Taj, and Randall's replacement, whether it's Randall or Randall's replacement. It's a lot of players. It's a lot of talent. At the end of the day, Tibbs is only going to play 9 or 10. At the end of the day, Tibbs is only going to play 9 or 10. Or no matter what coach you get, say Tibbs is not the coach. Say Tibbs is not the coach next year. At some point, say Tibbs hits the Powerball and walks off, goes off into the sunset. You replace him with Johnny Bryant or whomever. That coach is not going to play more than 10 guys. Say we get our dream coaching scenario. Say we get our dream player and dream coaching scenario. Say we get Donovan Mitchell and Steve Kerr in the offseason. Say something magically happens and we get Donovan Mitchell and we get Steve Kerr, the head coach, us, right? We're still not playing all 10 of those young players. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. It's just not. Andy, what's good, boss?
What up, Freeze?
How you doing, man?
I'm fine, bro. Waiting for my son he just started practice, so I got like an hour and a half or what's shorter, my battery dies.
Oh, yeah. How the babies doing anyway?
Ah,
They
good,
good?
fine, thanks, bro.
Good.
Healthy at this moment, so that's the most important thing.
Yeah, 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 man. Yesterday was my anniversary, man. I've been with this lady like 30 years. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah. So we
congratulations, bro.
yeah, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. So we cooked dinner. You know what I'm saying? She ate all the good stuff, and I ate healthy. I had a vegan macaroni salad, eggplant parmesan, with of course the parmesan being the vegan version, not the dairy version, and some kind of toasted bread with tomatoes, basil, garlic, and some vegan cheese.
Bro, I don't know how vegans do that. Just sprinkle some air on it and you gotta eat it.
Bro, yeah, I know. Hey, man. And listen, man. You know my story. I was once Big Freezy. I was once 472 pounds. Now I'm Uncle Freezy at 351, trying to
Yeah,
get to
that's
220. Yeah, man.
that's a great step down, though.
Yeah, man. It's like taking a ninth grader off of your body. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, man. Yeah,
that
man.
definitely you made your life longer a couple of years. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But yeah. So Andy, here's my question to you as a Knicks fan: How how will the Knicks keep all of these young players, have them develop and get quality, decent minutes, right? And play veterans, right? And add new additions and win. How is this possible?
well, Freezy, looking at the amount of draft picks we have, I think Leon Rose wants to get the chip in the G League first, and then just move that roster up to the big leagues.
Seems
Because
like it, right?
listen, yeah, it really seems like it, right? You got like 8 picks in the next 2 3 years, whatever,
Right,
and you literally can just sign all young guys. Not to mention that we have guys that we want to keep, right?
right,
So and for me, like you said before, there's no way that you can have like 10 guys in your rotation that's gonna be like 25 or under.
right.
That's literally
Impossible. And
yeah,
win doing it, right? And be competitive doing it. Because you can do it. You can do the
yeah,
Orlando Magic thing, but you'll be top four worst team in the league every year that you do that.
yeah, exactly.
You'll be the Oklahoma City Thunder
Yeah,
or
and
or
and you
or the
still and you,
Clippers
you
from back in the
and
day.
I don't think you can actually evaluate talent if you're gonna just run whatever tactics, whatever players, whatever rotations each game, because
Right,
basketball is a streaky game. You're gonna have a guy that's gonna be hot one night, and then what? You're gonna bench him because you know what he can do, and then you pop him up, in 5 10 games, and he ain't gonna be able to make a bucket.
right.
So listen, I think that's you know you have to stick with some kind of a rotation to
Yep.
build that chemistry up, to build that consistency up, and then see if they can do it in a longer spread of time. Then you can tell yourself, listen, okay, we saw that on a consistent basis from that dude, so we could like pencil in that he can do it. Because listen, we already saw what Julius could do in that most improved season, and that pencil got erased really quick, right? So
Right. 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 Right.
so it's still like a hard thing to do. Yeah, but listen, as far as I see it, I think we got enough young guys. I'm not saying that you can't replace one or two for better pieces,
Right.
or give one or two of the guys that didn't have the exact amount of minutes that you could actually think that you're cool and you know what they can do, like for evaluation standpoint. And then listen, you got to start rolling, right? And I think
Right.
the Knicks are actually in the rolling position at right now. I don't think they're going to be able to add all those players, and I don't think they actually even want to all add all those players.
Okay.
That's why, listen, if we keep those draft picks, I wouldn't be, surprised if they literally pick all of maybe like half of them from Europe so they can stash them here and just play them.
Right. 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 My only trepidation is, in order to do the draft and stash, you usually want to pick those players in the 20s or later.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I was thinking second round because
Right.
even though even 20s
High.
is like a gamble, right? You
Right.
actually could have a guy that would crack your rotation,
Right. Right.
at least at some point of the season. And stashing them in Europe is not like, listen, you're gonna get a call up for G League that he's just gonna hop on a plane and 6 7 hours later he's gonna be on the NBA court,
Right.
because that's not possible because he's gonna be on the contract with his current team.
Right.
So
Right.
that doesn't work like that.
Right. Right. You're right. That's the point. That's the point that I was getting at. That even if that's the case, like my preference would be, if you're not ready to add more young players, trade back, trade, and not back in the draft, but I'm talking about trade years back, trade out of the
Yeah,
draft,
right.
right? Trade out of the draft, focus on the guys that you already have, right? And then, so say trade this 2022 and the 2023 draft picks for 2025, 2027, right?
Yeah,
And
unless
another,
Freezy, yeah, unless you like really love a guy that's like two spots higher, then
right,
just attach two of the second round picks just to get those two, spots higher, so you can pick the guy that you actually have faith in and
right,
hope, right? Because if you're just gonna pick a guy and you're gonna be like, maybe he can pan out, maybe he can play with us, or we're gonna see in the half season. I don't think that you can have that kind of an inconsistency on draft night, right?
right,
And putting in that draft pick, not losing it, just picking that guy that you maybe he's gonna pan out. If not, we're just gonna cut him. I don't
right,
think that's the situation. You can do it with
yeah,
second round picks, but it's still a
right.
waste of some kind of an asset, right?
Asset, yeah. I just think that mindset would be dangerous. That
Yeah,
that that, that for a team that's in the lottery, to arbitrarily dismiss talent, I think it's dangerous. I think you're begging to be in the lottery forever by
yeah,
doing that. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? If you're a playoff team and you had that mindset, then I could understand. Or if you're a playoff team that traded out of the draft completely, I could understand, because at least you have something to work with going forward. But if you're the Knicks, you don't have anything to work with going forward. Nothing battle tested. But like, Quickly hasn't hit big shots in the
yeah,
playoffs. RJ hasn't. RJ hasn't carried a playoff team for 2 or 3 playoff games. Cam Reddish hadn't showed you that he's a baller in the playoffs. Obi Toppin hadn't showed you that he can, the regular season guy that you saw can be the playoff guy, right? So if you're the Knicks, you can't take these types of gambles. You have to be in a mode where you're always considering the best talent available, right, and
yeah,
adding them to your mix, right? Because you don't know what these young guys can do yet. They look like good. All the guys that we just mentioned, all the guys that are showed on the screen, look like quality rotation players, right? But there's no mega star there. I don't see a Kobe Bryant, right? I don't see a Shaquille O'Neal, right? I don't see a Dirk. I don't see a Luca. I don't see a Ja. And I'm not saying that these guys won't be good. I'm not saying that they won't be good. What I'm saying is right now they all look like rotational players, and you still have to canvas the landscape to see if you can find a franchise altering talent.
yeah. And Freezy, not to mention that. Listen, we see these guys like the Quicklies, the Mitches, the even Grimes, right? We see them for several amount of games, and I think that we are more confident in them because we know what they can do, right? So we
Right,
actually evaluated them and we know what they can bring to the team. That's why we are like feeling more safe with them. But you never
right,
know if that kind of, high talent, like high risk, high reward guy, if he comes in and he literally beats out Quentin Grimes,
right,
you'll be like, ah, listen, we still got to keep Quentin because he was hitting big shots and stuff like that. Listen, he played for the Knicks like what, half a season, 40 couple of games maybe,
Right.
and we're feeling safe because we know that he has a great stroke. He can hit the threes, but still, we're confident in him because we saw how he plays. Meanwhile, there can be way more players on the Hawks team, on the Hawks bench, for example, that we didn't see that many amount of games, that
Right.
we can say, listen, this guy does this and this consistently, so you can ask it from him to do it on the game, right?
Okay.
Meanwhile, we just feel like every of these young guys is a keeper because we know the perception of ours is like we feel safe with them because we know what they can do
Oh,
at this
right.
point.
Right. Right. But how does that impact the future, though? Does that like with what you just said, with what you well, let me before I ask for your answer, let me acknowledge Paris Douglas super chat. Paris Douglas says there's no mega stars to protect now. Giannis is a rough style, so the NBA is going with physical play as its means of popularity. Gotta play 12 guys. Um, Probably, but Tibbs ain't doing that, right? Other coaches may consider it, but Tom Thibodeau, no,
Yeah.
he ain't doing that. But Andy, to your question though, to your question or to your statement, I'm sorry, and my question, I understand what you're saying about Knicks fans being comfortable with the guys that we have because we know what they can do. But does that win us a championship? And does that nest of guys have at least one or two in it that can pull us, that can elevate the team, so to speak, right? And I ask this question often: is RJ Barrett that guy? Right,
Me personally, Freezy, I think I gotta go with the no. I don't
right,
think if we stick with these guys for like the next 4 or 5 years, we're gonna be like in the contending spot. Even if you add a player here, add a player there, I think that's not the roster that gets you into championship contention. Like you said, there's no so big star potential on it that they're going to bring. And listen, if you just run through the teams that are still in the playoffs in the second round, literally every team has at least one guy from the top 20
right.
of the guys in the NBA. And I don't see even RJ going into that top 20 in the next 2 3 years.
No, I don't
There's
think
going to be
so.
better guys, always at least 20 guys better than RJ.
Right, right, right. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Because RJ's, and I'm not knocking RJ Barrett, right? Because at some point we are who we are, right?
Yeah.
We have to acknowledge we are who we are. Like I don't look like Idris Elba. I'm not handsome like him. I'm Uncle Freezy. I got to deal with that. And guess what? I can deal with that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is with RJ Barrett, if we expect RJ Barrett to automatically turn into Anthony Edwards, it's never going to happen, right? Anthony Edwards is a
Yeah.
different type cat. You know what I'm
And,
saying?
yeah, and
No,
Freezy, to be fair, and I know RJ fans are gonna, bark at me and whatever, but I really think that RJ isn't that kind of a talent when you compare him to the guys in the NBA. He's he's on his level, but he's on his level thanks to his hard work.
right,
He's more methodical. He probably, when he wants to, knock down threes, a talented player is going to take 1,000 threes. RJ needs to take like 2,000 threes to,
yeah,
to be in that level, what a player. So I'm not bashing him. I'm just thinking that there are way more talented guys because talent is a thing that you don't have to practice that much to get on a certain level. And I
right,
think RJ doesn't have that. His game is too methodical. You don't see that easiness in him playing and that flow. He's he has to work hard on basically every basket he does, right? He
right,
gets. So I think physically he's not that fast, but he's at least strong, right? That helps him. But I think those drives, those even shot, I think he has to work way longer on those specific skill sets than talented players. That's why it comes a little bit slower to him. And
Right.
you know, he can get into an all-star level with it. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's going to be, you know, way more work is going to be needed for a player like RG to get there
Right.
compared to you know, like a Anthony Edwards and those guys that were drafted, you know, top picks and literally
Right.
are exactly, you know, more talented than him.
Right. And so, and to your point too, to your point, because I think it's a great point. But I think sometimes when we say it, people don't understand why we bring it up. See, RJ has to work twice as hard to get there, right? And twice as hard as that to stay there, right?
Yeah.
And here's an example. RJ had to work super hard to shoot 40% from three, right? Now, maintaining that schedule, he couldn't stay there because the league adjusted to RJ Barrett, and you saw his 3-point percentage go down, right? So with guys like RJ, they have to work so hard to get to the top and stay at the top that it's almost impossible to ask a human being to do that.
Yeah.
Right? You're asking RJ Barrett to forget about everything and solely focus on basketball, right? I don't know if RJ or any other human being can do that. You have to have some type of assistance, and the assistance I'm talking about is you either have to play in a system that caters to your strengths, and we don't, right? Like we don't have a system that caters to RJ Barrett's
Yeah.
strengths, right? Or you have to have some kind of God-given physical ability that makes stuff easy for you. Like you got to be able to run real fast, jump out of the gym, be quick twitch or something in order for you to have that, make it easier for you. And RJ doesn't have that either. So he's not in a system that is catered to emphasize all of his strengths, and he is not otherworldly athlete.
Yeah.
Right. And so while I say that about RJ, I still think he can contribute to a championship contender, just not as the number one guy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Right. And so there are other pieces on the young core too that I mentioned. And I think what happens is when you point out, when we're critical of people, that when we criticize, people say criticism is negative, when criticism should just be neutral feedback, right? Like one of the things that I spoke about the past couple of joints that we've been on is the Knicks do not have an exceptional athlete in the backcourt. Like Quickly is not an exceptional. Quickly is not a Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, Zach LaVine type athlete, right? Neither is Evan Fournier. Neither is Alec Burks. Neither is Quentin Grimes. Neither is Miles McBride, right? And I understand the skill versus athleticism argument, but even for the skill guys, you have to be able to get easy baskets sometime, right?
Yeah.
You have to because even 3-point shooters can miss 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in a row, right? And they have to keep shooting. But if the thing is if they were able to get easy baskets, then that makes the thing of the ball going in the hole at least look easier. Jay Boogie, what's good, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing? Good early afternoon. What's going on, my man Andy? The 8 boogie right there.
What
What's
up,
happening
Jay?
with y'all, man?
Yeah, man.
Blessings to the chat, everybody, man. Hope everybody healthy and safe right now.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I hear y'all cooking up some things. I just want the tail end of it. So I'm just, channeling in right now.
Yeah, man. I mentioned this one thing about our backcourt not having elite athleticism, What I was pointing out, what I was going to get to is there are a couple of players in our front court that do have elite athleticism. And I do think the game could come easier to them if they refine their skills. Right. As the team is constructed right now, I think it's easier for us to develop a star out of our front court than it is for us to develop a star in our back court. And that's based on the physical ability if you refine certain skills, right? And so I'm going to point to Obi Toppin, right? I think Obi can become, or at least get on the path of stardom, right? Because it's easier to take God-given athleticism and develop skills than to take skills and develop athleticism, right? Because you need both of them to go together. Because Michael Jordan is not the GOAT because he was the mid-range king. Michael Jordan was fast, quick twitch, and had a 48-inch vertical, right? Wilt Chamberlain is in the GOAT conversation, not because he was big and skilled for a big man, but because he can bench 400 pounds, he could triple jump, and at 7'2", this man had a 44-inch vertical. You know what I'm saying? And right. So what I'm getting at is not that the athleticism is what makes you great. What I'm saying is it's the combination of will and determination, athleticism, and skills. And if you have a lack of one, then the other two have to compensate for the other.
I'm riding along with everything you're saying. You know, we're not an athletic, athletic talented type team, you know what I'm saying? But we're not done yet. We're still a work in progress. Now, like RJ, always compare RJ's game to like Luau Deng. You know what I'm saying? A guy that could just pretty much do a lot of things. It's not great athletic, but more importantly, that guy has a lot of heart. And that's one thing RJ has. He has heart. He's willing to listen and learn and get better. And I take that a lot over a guy who's already athletic and talented and think he got it all. Don't think his game is no better. He's going to allow other people to catch up, sneak up on him. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm good with RJ's that because I know he's gonna get it, further together. Now, he's just a piece, though. He's a piece to go along with other pieces that, that we can build towards this team. Like I said, we're not done yet. Quickly, man. Quickly's like a little more Maurice Cheeks, man. A little guy like that, man. He's not great athletic, you know what I'm saying? But he got heart, too, and he's willing to play. The little drummer boy, man. He gonna give it to you, you know what I'm saying? And he got a lot of fire and energy inside his game. So, I think Quickly get a shock a lot of people come this season, man. Right. But when you talk about Obi, when you talk about gifts and all that, Obi probably is the most gifted, talented guy we got on our roster. And if he gets any type of heart, like what RJ got, and develop any other things that he's missing for his game, look out for Obi. But also look out for RJ too, man. Look out for all of us, man. Look out for the Knicks, man. You know what I'm saying? Next season, man. We coming back next season, man. That's how I just feel it, man. It's a pissed off season. These dudes ain't got nothing to do but blame it on themselves. I hope they getting right.
Right. No, I get it. I'm with you. And so for the chat, I understand the thing about athleticism that Knicks fans, I just don't know. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't know what Knicks fans have against athleticism. I think it's ridiculous. Only Knicks fans are like, well, you don't have to be such and such. Bro, listen, man. You have to be an athlete in this game, right? You have to be. You have to be, bro. You have to be. I'm not saying it's the only thing. I'm saying it's a piece of the puzzle. Knicks fans told me I would take skill over athleticism any day. And I tell them I'd like the combination of both. I'm not saying that I take one over the other. I think you need to have both. Danny, what's good?
Yo, what's good?
The plane, boss. The plane.
Yo, so Andy, let me also ask you this, right? If the plan is to develop these young kids going forward, if the plan is to develop these young kids going forward, right? What's our short-term goal? Because if development of the kids is the plan, then what is the goal? Is the goal just wait on development?
No, so Freezy, for me, I think you still have to go aim at least to get into the playoffs, because the development into the playoffs, like one game develops you as much as 5, 10 games in the regular season.
Right.
Those games have the intensity. If you saw a couple of these games in this year's playoffs, the intensity there, I was like, when I saw like game one from the first series of one of these matchups, I was like, whoa, these guy would tear another hole in the Knicks behind if they played them.
Right.
Literally, the intensity was so high. I was like, I was sweating in front of my TV. I was like getting tired when I saw that defense and stuff like that. So listen, I think that the challenge should be still to get into the playoffs while having young guys, but also having vets, so they have someone to look up to, right?
Okay.
And I'm not saying rely on the vets and just get the young guys on the court to make wind around them and run around. Just use them. Try to get that culture established, get that system running. So when you're looking for players in the off season, you know what you're looking for.
Right.
And for me, like, because fans are gonna say we gotta fire Tibbs, we gotta do this and that. That might be a point, but for me, I still don't think we kept him so long that we got that culture set up. We did that year one, and that was a huge change from the previous season. This year, we tried to tweak it by the roster moves, but the culture, wasn't that established that we got those players that we needed. So, some fans gonna say that the Kemba, the Fournier moves weren't good, but I think I gotta blame the lack of getting to the playoffs or the play-ins at least, on also on injuries like from D Rose, from Noel, and those guys, because those guys played a huge role last season, which
Right.
Knicks fans were like, oh, just play young guys, but will we have will if we had D Rose playing more games and Netherlands playing more games like he played the previous season,
Right.
I think we wouldn't be in the situation that we were like literally 11th and didn't sniff a playing game at least. I think we would get that. And listen, you have to aim for the best record possible after the regular season. I don't think you can be like tanking from game 10, whatever. I told Sim on NBK the only game I wanted the Knicks to lose was that Washington game. Why?
Right.
Because that one game with your main guys injured, because RJ didn't play that game, I think.
Right.
Julius definitely didn't play that game. The main guys still didn't play, and that one position, Freezy, if we're on May 17th when the lottery balls are gonna bounce, and somehow the Knicks stay at 11, but the Wizards jump to the top four, bro, my camera's gonna be broken, that's for sure.
Right.
Probably more stuff is gonna be broken, because that was the one loss that gets you percentage wise at least a couple of percent. And I'd rather have that than that one W experience that you get from that win, right?
Right.
So that was a game that you had to tank. The rest of the games, win them out. I don't care if
Right.
you're not gonna get moved, higher on in the lottery thing.
Right.
But that one game was literally useless for us to
That's
win.
facts. That's
Right.
facts. That's real facts.
But that's what we do though. That
Yeah,
you were remember the Carl Anthony Towns draft? And
yeah,
we messed around and beat the Pistons or
yeah,
somebody, the Wizards, somebody,
yeah,
when Maurice Endow put the ball back at the buzzer when both
yeah.
teams were trying to tank.
The Ron Baker games, remember?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. And so that was the difference between us getting Carl Anthony Towns and Kristaps Porzingis. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I mean, I understand what you're saying. And at the time, the Knicks, the reason was we're trying to establish a culture. But guess what? 7 years later, we're still trying to establish a culture. We still don't have one. You know what establishes a culture? Winning.
Yeah.
Right? Winning. And I don't mean winning against the Wizards in a game that could set either franchise on a path of success or failure. I mean what you mentioned before, the example that you gave, high leverage playoff games where young kids get to test their mettle and the front office and coaching staff gets to see who has it and who does not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and you know what kind of a player we are missing to get that big step just by acquiring one guy. You could easily make a big step towards that grit, that defensive mentality in your guys that spread it around, like a Patrick Beverly, a,
Right.
PJ Tucker type, right?
Right.
A Jay Crowder type
Yeah.
that goes into your grill at practice, in the
Right.
locker room after games, a Draymond Green type, right? He's gonna
Right.
be cheering you up when it's going good, but he's gonna bark at you when it's going bad, and he
Right.
sees that lack of intensity in you. He's
Right.
gonna literally go into your face. That's the
Right.
guy that we don't have. But because
Right.
that's the guy that he has to have charisma, he has to play that way. Because I don't think a guy that doesn't play defense can ask anyone else on the team to play defense. That's
Right.
like literally, if I had a teammate like that, I would laugh in his face straight up.
Right. Right.
So
So that's the thing about the Memphis Grizzlies culture. People think that Memphis Grizzlies culture is Ja Morant.
no.
No, the Memphis Grizzlies culture is Dylan Brooks.
And you
Bro.
see crazy, and you see them, those guys, they go one after another, like they stand behind one another, bro. One
Right.
guy has a, like, a funny look, all guys look at the same guy. It's
Right.
not like, oh, I'm just gonna go, go that way, whatever. No, they're like a pack. They're
Right.
like one for it's like one for the rest of the team and whatever. So and that's a huge thing. Also, they got that camaraderie already settled down, and I think it's important because when you have some vets that are going to be new to the team, I don't think like someone without charisma comes into the team and says like, "Oh, listen, guys, we're going to do it this and that way." Nah, these guys ain't going to listen. Julius
Right.
Randle ain't going to listen to a Dennis Schroeder type when he comes in, and Dennis Schroeder first practice is going to say, listen, we're going to do it this and that way. Julius Randle is going to like,
Laugh at 'em.
yo, you serious, bro? He's going to
Right.
be like that. And
Right.
the disrespect is going to go, that's why I was actually thinking that the Kemba Walker thing, that it's going to pan out because Kemba was an all-star. Yo, he was a baller back in the day.
Right.
Now it's only because of his
Yeah.
injuries he ain't
Right.
able to be on that level. But
Right.
I think that was a guy that they could look up to. Not to mention that he was from New York, right? He's from New York, so I think maybe that was the good move. It just didn't pan out the correct way. But I
Okay.
think it was at least worth a try, as far as I see it.
What the Kimba thing, I kind of think we mishandled it. I think
Yeah,
we
that's
kind
for
of
sure.
we can I think we
That-
kind of fumbled it. Uh, you don't have a playoff team have a disappointing loss and then come into the next season and the PR department makes a guy that hadn't played a minute of
yeah,
basketball the franchise type player.
yeah, the new guy, right?
Yeah, I don't think you do that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I think that's what set Randall and RJ off on different paths with Kimba. You know what I'm saying? But to the Grizzlies point that I was making, I'll tell you what. Like, so the Grizzlies have Ja Morant, right? But they also have these dudes with this mentality of toughness and together, like Steven Adams, right? Dylan Brooks, Brendan Clark. Those guys set a tone when they play, right? These guys set a tone. Desmond Bain.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I'm gonna hop off.
Okay. Yeah. So we got. Those guys set a tone of hard work, like scrapping their way into a lineup. You know what I'm saying? Like scrapping for everything. Like everything they got, they had to earn it. And then you add an exceptional talent like Ja, and then it sets your franchise off on the path that you wanted to go. Right? Like for instance, people think Klay Thompson is a pretty boy. Klay Thompson is scrappy, bro. Because Klay Thompson is not fast or super athletic. He's skilled, but he brings certain things to the table. Klay Thompson's mom was Miss Universe. Klay Thompson's dad was the #1 pick in the draft, in the NBA draft, right?
Yeah.
Right? So you would think that this thing comes, but nah, Klay brings a grit to the table. Like Klay's 3-point shooting is excellent. But you know what's better than, in my opinion, what's better than Klay's defense? I mean, his offense is his defense is just as good.
Yeah.
Like I think Klay is a great NBA wing defender, right? And so it's these things. Like they also added Draymond Green, right? A junkyard dog, somebody that scrapped for everything, somebody that should have been a first-round pick, but wasn't because people didn't understand his attitude. That's why Draymond Green was a second-round pick, right? But when I ask you, Andy, what scrappy players do the Knicks have that have to fight for everything? You can't say one person, right? You can't say Obi Toppin because Knicks fans say, well, Obi deserves to have minutes. Well, why does Obi deserve to have minutes? Because of such and such. Well, if Obi scrapped for those minutes, I think the conversation would be different.
Yeah, and Freezy, to put a name out there, like a ranking in the Knicks players, bro, I think the most scrappy player is literally the Netherlands Noel. He just
Yeah.
bro. But
Yeah.
he would be the one, if I had to pick a guy that's going to die for the ball,
Right.
line the court, I would pick Netherlands Noel because he's going to do it first. He ain't going to think twice about it.
Right.
So that's why, listen, I think, that's why I think, and listen, it's going to be hard because, like I said, you could draft a guy, right? But his impact isn't going to be straight away because a guy like a Julius Randle, a guy like a Evan Fournier, they ain't going to look at the rookie and try to take example off of him. Right? Unless they're like all young guys like the Grizzlies have, right? And they go one after, another and all for one. So one for all for one. So I think, that's the problem for the Knicks. They need to acquire that type of a guy.
Right.
Like that hustler, like the player's going to hustle, a goon, whatever, that's going to not put fear into the guy's eyes, but that the players can see that you can be tough around on the NBA courts, but you got a guy that's going to show you how to literally carry yourself, that you ain't going to look like a fake tough guy. So I think that's the key.
Yeah, I think we're clearly missing it because I don't think Evan Fournier is that guy.
I don't know.
I don't think Alec Burks is that guy. I know Kemba's not that guy.
And Freezy, remember when we got Luke Morris, right? He was signed for one year contract, and it was so easy for him to be the leader of that Knicks team.
Right.
He wasn't the best player even on the team because Randall was way better.
He was good though.
Right.
Yeah, he was good, but he still wasn't the main player. But players look up to him. He was literally the mental leader of that team.
Right. Right.
That's why I think it hurt us when we traded him. But
I think in the short term, it hurt us. Us getting quickly though out of that deal, I think kind of helped us in a sense. But at the same time, however they acquired, they could have acquired quickly by another means. So you could trade into the first round. You could have done a lot of stuff, trade a player, whatever, right? But to your point about Marcus Morris. Clearly, the Knicks are devoid of leadership in the locker room, right? Because being the leader does not mean you're the person out front.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when we go to like these seminars and stuff, these company team meetings, and when you meet other people in the company and all these things, the main thing they push is the loudest person in the room is not always the leader, or the person with the most cachet is not always the leader, right? The leader is the person that the unit buys out to and pushes forward as a representative of the group, right? Like Marcus Morris, like Mook Morris. Mook Morris was a representative of the group that the team pushed out there and said, hey, man, you our leader, man. You lead us. We will follow you, right? You can't bring in Kemba Walker, a multiple-time All-Star, and just because he had that on his agenda and say, you're the leader of this group. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Derrick Rose. Yeah. Yeah. And Derrick Rose said that when he got here. Remember when Derrick Rose got here from Detroit?
Yeah.
Derrick Rose was like, well, I'm coming into a new environment. Even though I've been here before, I'm coming into a new environment. I want to learn these guys and let them learn me. And then and he said this in response to him becoming a leader of the team. He was like, yeah, this team already has leaders on it. I just want to come in here, learn these guys, let them learn me. And as time go on, I'll pick and choose my spots. That was the smartest thing I heard the NBA players say about leadership, right? Because you just can't come into a situation and just because you were the number one pick, former league MVP, multiple successes, 50-point game, all this stuff on your resume, you just can't come into a place and say, I'm here now, y'all follow me. Because it don't work.
Yeah.
But what you can do is set an example and then have people gravitate towards you because you've done things the correct way and they can trust you and you're a consistent person. Like you're always consistent in the thing. Because the thing is, people are not going to follow somebody that's unpredictable.
Yeah.
They don't want. That's the reason why Randall can't be the leader, because emotionally he's unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? Like when he has good games, you can trust him. When he has bad games, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah. Because listen, leadership is also with like coherent with stability, right?
Right.
With you being sure about that person. Like you said, if he's unstable emotionally, it's going to be hard to follow up the guy. That would actually mean that our players are even less unstable than Randall is for them to follow him, right?
Right.
So
right.
So that would mean those guys are like crazy or whatever. Just
definitely weak. Definitely weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there. We definitely need some form of leadership on the court and in the locker room.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, if you have Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson, and you need more leadership, then we may need to consider what we're getting from Taj and Derrick Rose.
Yeah, but Freezy, I think that these young guys still need a leader that can provide them more, maybe not basketball knowledge, but that they could look up to, not only the work ethic way, but also the production on the court. You can have a great mentor and leader, but he's not playing like the D-Rose, right? You can have a great mentor and leader, but he's not on the court. So his talk is just talk for these young guys.
Right.
And D-Rose nor Taj, they ain't gonna pull up like a YouTube highlight video for him. Like, listen, you gotta do it like this because I did it in 1996, right? So these guys didn't watch these guys. They obviously saw games of D-Rose and on Taj, right? But they're not like, they don't have the cachet like a guy like you would bring up a guy that could play well with versus you on a daily basis, because I don't think Taj can stick with Obi.
No.
No, and yeah, he can't stick with him, right? D Rose maybe a little bit close is a little bit closer like production wise for a guy like Quickly, for a guy like Deuce, right? And they're gonna have respect, but he's injured. So I think you gotta have a guy that can, give you pointers on the bench, but they have to respect him and see that he still has that game. And I think, these guys are like really fast running out of gas in that tank. So
Right. Right. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, and I agree.
and yeah,
I
and listen,
agree.
and yeah, like with the guy on the defensive end, right?
Right.
Like a Pat Beverly, he ain't gonna score on you in the practice facility, but he's gonna give you hell for you to score, right? So
Right.
you're gonna go at him the same way. And if everybody does that, you're gonna be a good defensive team, because everyone is gonna try to be that dog, that player that you never want to face in a practice facility in a
Right.
game.
Right.
And that's half of the success.
Right. And that's why you bring in guys like that, because they make you work twice as hard as you would have worked on those dog days of summer
Exactly.
and those days and during the season where maybe you tweaked your ankle a little teeny bit and you're not really feeling it. And you get on the thing and Pat Beverly staring you in your eyes, get ready to tell you, you ain't scoring nothing today. I'm not letting you hit one basket.
Yeah.
And this
Exactly.
drill, I'm not letting you dog this drill. Right. And so I think that's the reason why they brought in Wayne Selden this year. The reason why Wayne Selden made the roster and not MJ Walker. Right. Because I thought MJ Walker did enough to at least be the 15th man. Wayne Selden ain't did that. What? Wayne Selden? But then I heard Tibbs say everybody on the team is not here just to, to get major minutes. Some people are here because they're great practice players. And he was alluding to Wayne Selden, the dog in practice that's going to make RJ Barrett work. You know what I'm saying? Whereas RJ Barrett probably could have dogged MJ Walker in practice. Because I honestly believe MJ Walker and Quentin Grimes are the same type player. I think probably MJ, well, Grimes is a better shooter probably, but in terms of defense, I think they might be on the same level or close. Yeah, man. Huh?
Selden and Grimes, the same level, you think, you said?
No, MJ Walker and Quentin Grimes.
Oh, MJ Walker.
Yeah, MJ Walker didn't make the roster. He didn't make the roster. Wayne Selden did. But it goes to show you how valuable Wayne Selden is, because Wayne Selden was gone before the end of January. Wayne Selden is the player that got cut so that Cam Reddish can make the roster in the Cam Reddish
That's
deal.
right. I didn't see enough of him.
Yeah, man.
Who do you see that could be one of those dogs on the team right now? You see anybody right there now, Freezy?
No.
That's missing. There's no one capable of being that, right?
No, not on this roster.
No, right?
No, not on this roster, man. I don't see a guy. I just don't see. I don't see the I don't see the Matisse Thybulle type guy on this roster. The Pat Bev. I don't see the KCP type
Marcus
guy.
Morris.
Yeah, Marcus Morris type guy. I don't see that guy.
He was a good leader. He was tough. He brought toughness. That guy. We don't have anybody like him. Not even close.
Yeah. I don't see that guy on the roster.
I thought Derrick Rose would be that person. You know.
Yeah.
But he's like he's too calm
and too fragile.
Yes. He's like Jackson from that movie. What's that movie? Unbreakable.
Yeah. Mr. Glass. Yeah.
Mr. Glass. Yes.
Yeah.
Derek missed the glass rose.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, so I'm gonna wrap up here real quick. I got to get out of here. I got to submit some paperwork for something. I'm gonna try to. Hey, you gonna be around?
Tonight, no. I'm actually going to SmackDown at Coliseum tonight with my son and my nephew. Wrestling tonight.
I gotta submit some paperwork, man, before too long. But I'm gonna try to. Hey, y'all, I'm gonna try to jump back on. Maybe it'll probably be about 4:00, 4:35. I gotta submit this stuff before the weekend. I'm gonna jump out of here real quick.
Freezy.
I'll see y'all in a few minutes.
All right.
All right.
Later, buddy.
Later.